and we inside. All right. Let me make sure my mic is unmuted. Am I live? Am I live? Welcome everybody back to Red. Another good evening, another good day, another fantastic day, another fantastic opportunity. So we live at Red, and this evening we have a fantastic show outlined for you. We have some interesting guests in the house. This is an organization that I became affiliated with some years ago, and they have been doing, listen now, they have been doing some awesome work, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but all of the islands. They have a crew that practically live in Haiti for the longest while. They've been building schools, they've been building hospitals, they've been feeding the poor, they've been building houses for people all over Trinidad and Tobago, Haiti, Dominica, Grenada. They were one of the, remember when that Hurricane Ivan devastated Grenada some years ago? They were one of the first people to respond, to give aid to Grenada. They've even been as far as Africa, in Haiti. In Kenya. And I'm not sure where else, because they're in so many places. And one of the things I like about this organization is that you don't see them tooting their horn, unlike so many. In fact, I'll show you some pics later on. If you didn't know who the leader of this organization is, you would never figure it out, because they're right there in the thick of things with everybody else. Unlike so many organizations, easy to identify the leader because they usually stand out well dressed, just handing down instructions. But these people are down in the trenches with the volunteers, and you really don't know that they're the people who lead this organization. So let me jump right in and introduce my guests for the evening. And I want to make sure they see me right. Everybody's seeing me. This is I.T.N.A.C, ladies and gentlemen. Is there not a cause? And of course, this is just a part, a very small part of the organization. They work with a team of volunteers. They have doctors, they have nurses, they have people in the construction field, law enforcement, just you name it. You have all sorts of people that work with I.T.N.A.C. And right here, we have with us the founders of I.T.N.A.C, Mrs. Avanel Hector Joseph, along with her husband, Christopher Joseph. Chris is actually, Chris, you're still at the radio station?
No, I sped down the road.
Oh,
just to be in time.
All right, good. So, but they usually work hand in hand, and we want to find out a little more about I.T.N.A.C. We also have with us two people who have been at the forefront of I.T.N.A.C from the very beginning. My brother, who is also my pastor, Marlon Alvarez, and along with a good friend of all of us, very close friend, of course, of Avi, but also a good friend of all of us, Miss Claudia Phillips, also a long-standing member of I.T.N.A.C. We were supposed to be joined by a couple other folks, but we're not sure what's happening. You know how the Zoom thing is with internet and so on. So, right, I'm just making sure everything looking good. YouTube looking good. The stream looking good. The Zoom looking good. I'm hearing everybody hearing me. How you guys going?
Going okay, you know. We're going okay. I know Avi and the team, they will say that they're tired because it has been a very hectic season.
Yes.
And trying to get to as many people as possible. And we're going to just thank you for the opportunity to shed some light on the work of Is There Not a Cause.
Yes.
And we really appreciate Eric. We appreciate your team for having us here this afternoon.
Well, boy, look the team here. They say there's no I in team. Look the whole team right here.
Well, but
seriously, I have a team. My wife and my son right there, making sure things happen. She come in now. She just left here. She came in and check, make sure everything working, ting. Right, so we pumping.
Nice.
And of course,
excellent team, man.
Yeah. Of course, if we could get some opening words from the rest of the team, Avi, Claudia, Pastor Marlon, what do you want to say? Quick. Anybody, jump in.
Well, let me jump in. I accepted the invitation more or less as an ex officio member. I haven't been active. My last trip with I.T.N.A.C was to Haiti following the earthquake in 2010. It was 2010, right? Following the earthquake. I make my contribution here and there, but I'm not as active as I used to be. So I consider myself an ex officio member. But I
beg to differ, and I'll explain why. But go ahead.
Bear yourself. my accepting the invitation to be here today, I took it more from the standpoint of I want to take the opportunity to endorse the work of I.T.N.A.C, to endorse the team, and to endorse what they do. They are the go-to NGO when a government wants to get stuff done. Let me just say this quick before I get sidetracked. When the earthquake took place in Haiti, I.T.N.A.C was one of the, if not the first organization to actually get on the ground with stuff in Haiti, despite all the big worldwide organizations was catching their nennen to try to get in with all the bureaucratic tape and whatnot. I.T.N.A.C went the distance and did what had to be done and was probably the first to be on the ground in Haiti. You can't get better than that. I go on.
All right.
I done for now.
I know for now. Well, thank you. Now, why I say I differ with you, because of the position you hold, I don't expect you to be as active as when you started, for obvious reasons. But because of the position you hold as pastor, you have been able to motivate the church, NBM, New Beginning Ministries, to more or less become almost like a partner with NBM. And in that case, you have been behind the scenes coordinating and making sure things happen. So you are still very active as far as I'm concerned.
But
point taken.
Busy physical action, eh?
I understand.
Physical action.
I understand.
You miss the physical action.
Oh yeah.
Friend listen to you.
So
Your friend listen to you.
Yeah. No, I want to. She pointed. No, I want to keep it as short as possible because I know I.T.N.A.C have a lot of work doing. Even to get RV on this was a challenge. Trust me. And I'm not saying it in a bad sense because I appreciate and I understand the kind of challenges they have to face. Sorry, but my glasses just fell on the water. Yeah. Yes, I understand the stresses and whatnot that they're going through. So I understand she'll be very busy, but yet she was able to make the time, to squeeze in this. I see the last person just joined in, Brandon Lee. Brandon, if you hear me, just open your camera as soon as you could. So let's jump straight into I.T.N.A.C. Is there not a cause? And I just had a little poster up that they started in 2002. Avi, could you give us, I am kind of aware of the history, of course, but for the interview's sake, what was the real genesis of I.T.N.A.C? Why did you think it necessary to take up this challenge?
Well, thanks for having us. And well, of course, you will know the genesis. Having been in that first meeting that we had in the Maloney area, Auntie Claudia was present there with us. And first again, we never knew it would morph into this. Unlike most organizations that would sit down and they would come up with a structure and a plan and a project and say, this is what we want to do. Shoes for a cause or doctors for a cause or something like that, and they would map out what they wanted to do or something like that. A young man in the Maloney area in Trinidad was murdered, one of the guys we taught in our Sunday school, and he was what we call high school age, around 15 or 16 and so much, and he was from the Maloney area, which is in East Trinidad. If you're watching on the World Wide Web, it was called a government planned housing. And the young people that came to Trinidad that day, they were very angry, and there was a whole lot of talk about vengeance and what they would do. So avenge his death. And I could sense in that funeral home, as we were finished with the sermon and we were outside, the children also 15, 16, 17, so much anger, so much animosity, so much hate young people. And then we began I began to weep and to feel that pain that the young people were feeling in that space, and a sense of me being as a Christian, oh my God, I'm part of the church and we had failed these young people. And I'm a very emotive person and I don't take any apology for that. Everybody said my passion is what propels me. And so I cried out to my mentor who was there with me at the time, Beverly, and I said, the church has failed the young people. And at that point in time, it was a statement that I premeditated. I didn't do a dissertation, I didn't do a thesis. I just had a strong sense that if we are in a space with so many churches and our young people are displaying this kind of anger and negative emotion, certainly we have failed them. And all I wanted to do was simply identify the problem, I guess, cry, and move on from there. And then she challenged me and she said, why don't you do something? And I was like, I really had to talk about that. And so I was listening on the radio at the time. I went on the radio and I made a call. And the first person to answer the call, I said, listen, this is what has happened. We want to go into Maloney, start with Maloney to reach the youth. And the first person who called was the wife of Mr. Marlon Alvarez, the pastor of the New Beginning Ministry. And with that, he brought a whole lot of people, including your good self, Eric. And we had that very first meeting in the Maloney area where we reached out. And from that, we didn't have a name. The Lord showed me that sentence in the Bible is in a course, and it jumped to us. It's our call to action, whether it's COVID, earthquake, hurricane, isn't it a cause? Yes, if there's a cause, we're here. And so 18 years by the grace of God and 20 years.
Wow. This is awesome. I want to bring in Claudia at this point because, as you said, it started because of something that happened in Maloney area. And of Claudia, of course, you are from Maloney. And you have been from that point to now. I mean, we started in Maloney. Obviously, we've gone way beyond Maloney, but you have decided to stay. Why have you stayed? What was so interesting to you? Is it just because it was a Maloney thing? Or did you see a bigger picture why you decided to partner with I.T.N.A.C?
Okay, I wouldn't say I saw a bigger picture as yet, but I know it was the leading of the Lord. What had happened, I was home nursing an uncle and injury and listening to 98 and heard the call. And in hearing the call, my Holy Spirit ministered to me and said that you have to go to this meeting. And it was the very said day that the meeting was going to take place in Maloney. And so I got myself ready and I hopped along and went to the community center. When I got to the center, I sat in the back and I was asking myself, do I belong here? Because everybody is pastors, I was the only lay person there. And so I sat in the back and I listened to everything. And when my time came, I stood up, which was, we asked a question that we need a place to keep meeting, and nobody volunteered, and I knew I had to. I just got the hunch, I had to, and I volunteered. And that's where it all started. And when it started, when we get off from, we used to have a lovely time because it started with the prayer meeting. We used to meet once a week. I always remember the very first time when Pastor Marlon and his wife, Auntie Jenny, came. It was like everybody was a family. It was so nice. It was so united. It was like a community. It was just 12 people from different parts and bring them together in this little living room, and we all started planning from there. And I was there, and my background job in this whole thing was prayer. So I was standing like the intercessor on the background, just be praying, but also being active in anything that has to be done. And I stayed because I realized this is where God wanted me to be. This is where God connected me to, and I have no regrets because being here in I.T.N.A.C with Avenue and Auntie Beverly, and they had brought me to a different level in understanding, communicating with people, and really getting to know the Lord more, because opportunities was opened up and I've been able to express myself in Christ and to be more faithful. And that was one of the reasons why, again, that I'm still here, because what is going on is what God has called me to. He has called me to that, and I know that for sure, even now in this season and time that we are going through here, I know this is exactly where God has called me to.
Thank you very much. And I know there's like a theme with everybody who has been working with I.T.N.A.C. They really feel a call to do this. It wasn't a matter of just I wake up one morning and I feel let me go and help I.T.N.A.C. No, they really felt a call. with purpose. You
Yeah.
know, this is something I need to do. I need to be involved. Thank you very much, Claudia. And we have the last member of the panel who finally got on. He was having some internet challenges, and I don't know if he knows, but he's surrounded by foundation members, for want of a better word, of I.T.N.A.C. So let me introduce Mr. Brandon Lee. When I first saw the name, I wonder if this was Brandon Lee, the movie star. But, and then I saw Joseph in the end. So I say maybe it's Chris family, but he's not related in any way. But let me bring in Mr. Brandon Lee. And Brandon, could you first tell us how long have you been involved with I.T.N.A.C? What has that journey been like for you? I wonder if he's hearing me. All right, I think I'm seeing he's connecting. No, Brandon is there. Yes. Brandon, can you hear me? All right, Brandon still seems to be having some internet challenges. All right, he's there. I'm seeing this still picture. He's there in the list of attendees, but I'm not sure what's happening. So as soon as he gets active, we'll get back to him. So let me just say a quick hello to some people who've logged on and taking in the stream. We have productive. What's that? Let me make sure I'm reading this correct. I'll have our next screen on the side, right, guys? Purposeful Living. I have Mr. Noel Emmanuel Jack. We have Crossroads Production, Ashton Lewis. We have Caribbean. Yeah, we have a few people. We have a few hundred people logged on and watching. Just kidding. But the word is going out. We have some people logging on and commenting and have some positive views and stuff. So I want to say thanks for taking the time to join us. I want to show some pictures while we talk. While we talk, let me just get this organized quick. Hold 1 second. Right, you all seeing some pictures on your screen there? Yes, man.
Yes, we are seeing it.
All right. So while I kind of go through the pics, I want us to, Avi, could you give us some insight into some of the places I.T.N.A.C has been over the years? Just the places. We'll get into details later, but just give us a little bit of some of the places and why those places were chosen.
Louisiana in 2005, after Katrina and Rita. We've been to different parts of Africa. In the west, Guinea. In the east, Kenya. And Zambia. In the south of Africa. We've been to India 4 times. We've been to Haiti almost probably 200 times. And then coming down the Caribbean, Jamaica, Guyana, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Venezuela, the Peruvian Amazon. Just to name a few. And Grenada, of course.
Yeah. Wow. What? Yeah. Any specific reasons why those territories were identified?
Okay, most of those countries, because there was a disaster. Louisiana, India started off after the tsunami, but we began to identify communities that never had churches, needed schools, water, what else have you. Guinea was an exciting challenge because the gospel was relatively new there, and there was a perception that the gospel was something that white missionaries propagated to chain up black people. So we saw it as an honor to colored people to go there to represent Christ. And our initial into St. Lucia was to work in the community called Marsha Boulevard with a literacy program.
All right.
Don't forget the Bahamas.
What is that, Pastor Malang?
I said, don't forget the Bahamas.
Oh. Okay.
The Bahamas.
Your mother go fix it.
But those countries also
Pressure.
Alright, so Marlon, you as identified, you have been in the early days in particular. You've been to several of the missions.
Awol. What do you call it? Awol, AWOL.
AWOL. Or missing in action.
Yeah. Right. So you've been on some missions. How? Of course, you're a pastor, so we understand how the pastorate goes, and having a heart for people and things. But now that having gone on some of these missions with I.T.N.A.C, how has that impacted you?
I would like to keep going, but it's not very practical for me to do that every time I would like to do that. So I am constantly trying to stir up other people to go. I'm trying to encourage young people, for example, who are single before they get married and stuff, take some time and do something like this. Even if not necessarily with I.T.N.A.C, with some other organization, there's Logos Hope and what OM and whatnot, but do something because you see stuff on TV and it moves you. But for example, I mean, over the years we have seen pictures on TV of Haiti, but only when you got on the ground in Haiti you actually realize what it really is like to be living in Haiti and that kind of stuff. It has changed my life. It has, and I've seen it, especially with Haiti. I've seen it. Everybody who went to Haiti for the first time had the same experience. Before the first day, you were in tears. Everybody, it impacted you like that. It changed your life. You come back home and you realize that a lot of the things you kill, you fight for, and you beat up yourself after, it's totally unnecessary. It's not worth anything. And you begin to realize the importance of life in itself. And you really want to be able to make an impact in people's lives. To see people move from one stage of whether it's poverty or depression or whatever it is, to a place where they could be comfortable, where they could live, And for me, while Christ and the salvation of their soul is always ultimate, to me it's not only about that, because not everybody will accept Christ, but the quality of their life can still be changed for the time that they hear. So for me, it's about all of those things. It's about the overall effect, that kind of stuff.
All right. I just want to put in a little plug here quickly. If you like what you see on the channel, you like the stuff we're doing, feel free, to subscribe, like, follow, and so, because this is an ongoing project. I have no intention of quitting this. Red has places to go. Red has things to do. But here's what's happening. I want to shift it slightly. Let me make sure I'm getting this correct. Right. And there's a young lady in this picture here. Now, I.T.N.A.C has been doing, as I said, some amazing stuff. I've seen some of the work they've done. I've been on some of the projects that they've gotten involved in. I've seen them build houses for people. Right now, this weekend, as a matter of fact, they have a massive program coming up. And I will ask them to talk a little more about that later on. I hope I have the flyer there. So I think I have it somewhere there. But some big things keep going on. But this young lady here, let me put it big on the screen. So they will see it in my little window, but I have it big on the screen for the live. There's a little story. I was touched by this particular lady's story. I was fortunate to be involved in a program that Avenel and Chris have launched a little while back called Broken Crayons. And Broken Crayons is about people who have suffered loss and how they cope with it. In my case, my wife and I, my family, my son, of course, lost his sister, but we lost our daughter a few years back. And it was a very touching story, and a lot of people were inspired and received help by what we share and how we were able to deal with it. So I was fortunate to be involved in one of the programs, a couple of the programs actually, with I.T.N.A.C, Broken Crayons. And this young lady happened to be on one of them. And I got a glimpse into her life and into her story. And I wanted to bring her up because I want to show that I.T.N.A.C is not just about giving out hampers and helping somebody to put two galvanized on the roof. No, it's way more than that. So I want to hand it over now to either Chris or Avi or all of you, because I know you are familiar with the story, of course, being husband and wife. Tell us about this magnificent young lady, with the shades from Africa. Tell us about this lady.
So I would like Avenel to give some context to go into the background as to when they met Scholar. And then I will take it up when she finishes, if that's okay. So, Avi?
Sure, no problem.
Sure, thank you. So, in 2009, we made our first trip to Kenya. Mostly youth, I might say youth, teens, and some even under 12 that were still in primary school age, so they were under 12. So they went ahead to Kenya, and I stayed back a couple of days. And by the time I joined them in Kenya, probably 4 or 5 days later, they were all like, Scholar. And all the children and the older people, they were just totally enamored and in love and in awe of Scholar. They met Scholar at one of the children's home orphanages that we visited in Kenya. And we formed a very strong bond with the Scholar. The team went back 2009, we went back 2012, 2013, and then Chris. We only had one child, we sent Mara, myself, and one other guy, Joachim Jack, and we went back 2014. Then we had a little break, we didn't hear from her again. And then one of our members go and connect with her, you know, as she was leaving the home and she was transitioning from the home. We made contact with her, and John began, you know, initiating the process of getting support for her to go into the school and stuff. So I think I can about you now, Chris.
Okay, so there are some terms that we use in Is There Not a Cause, and one of those terms are change agents. And we would normally speak about, you know, people questioning her and saying, "What's going on with you, Avenel? You think you could change the world?" And she would always reply, you know, to that person's world, we can make a difference. And if I'm to be honest, I'm possibly one of those people that would say, Avenel, oh gosh, girl, I have called her Mother Teresa. I have called her all these things. Because let's face it, when Abby and I met, just to give a little background, she was a career woman. She was in media. She had businesses. So imagine that shift from career path to charity. And it was not an easy transition for me. So many times when she has these ideas, I would question it. So I was one of those people putting up a hand, right? But Scholar represents what can happen when people partner and allow themselves to be a conduit. So Is It Not a Cause? We pride ourselves, if I have to use that phrase, in being a conduit. We link those that have a desire to help with those that need help. So Scholar is intelligent, Scholar is bright. All she needed was an opportunity. And we didn't take our meeting her by chance. We said, you know what? If this young lady is given an opportunity, she's going to soar. And Is There Not a Cause? We became that bridge. And her presence in Trinidad, she went to Haiti with us. And I just want to speak about one instance in Haiti. We went to a place in Haiti called I.T.N.A.C. And Scholar was with us. And we were giving out hampers, we were distributing food and clothing. And at one point in time, because of the number of children that were coming in, it was a lot of children, I just saw that Scholar went to the side. So I went to her and I asked if everything was okay. While I was speaking to her, tears were running down her face. And she was just reflecting, and she could identify because she was once that child. She could identify with children hearing the truck passing, and they're running behind the truck because they know, okay, some missionaries are coming to distribute food and clothes, and running behind the truck. And she was on the opposite side of that, no longer receiving, but she's able to help those that need help. You know, keeping as we continue to pay it forward. So her story is impacting to so many because it's a real life, tangible example of what partnering with Is There Not a Cause could accomplish. We don't know where she's going to go in her life. We know she is into communications, and we don't know that one life, how many lives that one life could impact in the future. So that is just a summary of the impact, the kind of impact that we seek to have when we interact with people.
Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, I.T.N.A.C changes lives. I think maybe there's a little tagline there to put somewhere down in the bottom.
Yeah, well, go ahead. You pay a copyright for it.
Oh yeah, that's take it, man. Free. No, seriously.
We normally use making a difference, as Avi was going to say.
I know. Yes, I see it. Of course.
But as an additional tag, we'll credit.
No, because it's serious. I.T.N.A.C really changes lives. I have seen it. I can testify. They have made significant impact in the people's lives. And one of the things, I just want to touch two things quick. One of the things that about I.T.N.A.C. One, they are a faith-based organization. And that's something that is proclaimed openly. But one of the interesting things is that they have no problem partnering with people of different faiths, if you want to use that word, or even people with no faith. Let's call it that. You know, probably staunch atheists or whatever. At the end of the day, because they understand one thing. We are still human beings on the face of this earth. And wherever I can get the help from that I can make a difference in somebody's lives,
Yes.
I will take it. And I want to applaud I.T.N.A.C for that. But how has that? I know that has been some challenge to some that has created some tension, for want of a better word. How have you been dealing with that, Avi? When you get these kind of, I see some of your posts on Facebook, and you know, I see some of the kind of licks, for want of a better word, you have taken for those kinds of stands. How you deal with that? How you cope with that?
I think that my analogy, no, I know there are a lot of scriptural references that can come to not be any kudio, can two work together unless they agree. The agreement here is that we are doing good. Coming out of Micah 6:8, to love justice, do mercy, and walk humbly before God. And so um, we do not compromise who we are. I see it as that fish that is swimming in the sea. And when the fish is coming out of the sea, the fish is still salty. Sorry. The fish is in the salty sea. When you extract the fish from the sea and you put that fish in your pot to cook, you still have to add salt because the salt does not contaminate. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So, not to get anybody religious knickers in a twist, but one of our latest partners has been someone who's a Muslim. And I found him to be very genuine and very sincere. He's in the middle of Ramadan and he still sees it fit to, he could have chosen another organization to work with us as a faith-based organization. And I think when people leave their faith and come to work with us, I think it is testimony of people believing in what we are and seeing the goodness of our God, because the Bible said, let men see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven. So we are not compromising on who we are, on the core of our beliefs, the solas, right? There are 5 solas to some extent we adhere to, which would be by grace alone we are saved, by faith alone, to Christ alone, and the gospel. So we do not compromise on these things, but we work with different persons. Sometimes I remember some years ago putting out an ad on Facebook one day. We were doing Dominica or somewhere, I can't remember, packing containers, and most of the containers it's not packed, except in the height of a disaster. It's usually packed by women. And when I say women, I'm talking about women in their 50s and their 60s. And so this particular day, I just went on Facebook and I said, hey, could anybody come and help us? We have some ladies packing a container tonight. And then I had this vision of like some pastor seeing my post on Facebook and saying, hey guys, instead of us having Bible study tonight, let's go along to St. James and help those kidnapped ladies. Instead, an imam showed up with the guys from his mosque. His mosque testing was like, one of the guys called me and he said, hey, some sisters packing a container in St. James and we can't let the sisters pack the container alone. So I was supposed to tell the imam, hey, tell them Muslim brothers and them don't come. I'm calling out some pastors to send some brethren. But we'll be still waiting, but that's not the thing. So, I know where they stand. I deal respectfully. So, for example, the first time I was, the Bible says that, don't walk among people as wives and to be all things to all men. So, when I went to meet my Muslim brother, and I call him my brother in humanity, the first thing I asked him, because I learned people, I said, are you a Muslim who shakes hands? And we then we joked and we said, we can't shake in Corona, but I wanted to know going forward, because I'm looking into the future as a relationship, that my life will speak volumes to him. So he said, well, yes, he shakes hands. So my Muslim friends shake hands. Mufti Shahid, who I work with in Haiti, he doesn't shake hands. So I have these things so I don't be offensive. In fact, the first person to reach out to us in this whole COVID thing was a Hindu businessman, and he gave large. So we are really happy for all of the churches, the many, many, many churches and great pastors. You might not even know some of their names. Look at Hope City Church. They've just started and they're helping in such an amazing way. It's wow. You might know their name, but we will not refuse partnership with anybody as long as we do not compromise the fact that Jesus Christ is Lord and that He is the only way to God. There are not many ways. On the other hand, too, when we go to deliver help to people, we do not force Christ on them. We do not ask them to say any prayer or to sign on to anything to get help. We go and we give the love of Christ in a very tangible way, and then the people might then have to order from church or what it is they might have, and up to date it is presented, then we will speak Christ. But my shoulders are fairly broad, and I know where I stand, and I'm not going to.
I just would like to say something here, though, if
Yes,
I may.
yes.
Um, and we spoke about the partnerships and those that have come alongside us. But I want to give another side of it, because she kept using the word "we would not compromise." So I want to give an actual example of a situation that occurred in the very early stages of the organization. We used to write a lot of letters. We call them, partnership letters. And one of our letters ended up, we wrote a lot of different big companies. We were new in this NGO charitable thing, so we wrote big companies. And we wrote a particular oil company that had a massive structure in Trinidad, offices, etc. And they heard about what we were doing and they called us into a meeting. But what prevented them from partnering with us? On our logo, I am actually wearing our logo, our brand, is there not a cause? It's from the Bible. And it's from a scripture verse, 1 Samuel 17, verse 29. And what prevented them from partnering with us back then was the fact that we had that scripture verse in our logo, or as part of our logo. And to be honest, I remember us, we didn't consider it, but we were like, wow, boy, this is the only thing that was going to hinder us, from accessing whatever funding or whatever. And Avi made a very firm stand that we would not compromise. We are not going to alter our logo. We are not going to alter our identity just to get access to funding. So we appreciate all those who know our stand, they respect our stand, and still choose to partner with us, because ultimately the cause is being, the people who depend on such help, they're the ones that are benefiting.
Hey,
Do I have
listen.
to jump in as a pastor?
Jump in.
What's that?
He wants to jump in.
Oh gosh, pressure.
No, jump in as a pastor. No, because and I'm thinking it because
right, okay.
somebody listening might possibly be thinking, okay, so they're willing to make these accommodations for the benefit of the help or the benefit of the contributions or what. And I want people to understand if that is not what it's about. I want people to understand where the line is drawn. Where the line is drawn is if or when I.T.N.A.C is required to lose their identity for the sake of a funding or some assistance or somebody coming alongside. That is where the line is drawn. As long as, and I have to take this beyond I.T.N.A.C, for any Christian, for any believer in Jesus Christ who is going about seeking to help humanity, we have to understand one. First of all, I'm doing humanitarian work, which is separate and apart from spiritual work. And I want to make that distinction. If I'm going about helping people with food and clothes, building and stuff, it is not necessarily a spiritual project I'm doing. Right? While I can attach the spiritual dimension, but it's actually a humanitarian project. Because of that, any human being who is willing to come alongside and be a part of that to help make it happen, you're more than welcome. We will work together to make this happen. The thing is to my organization, let me put it that way, my organization is the one that's doing this. Therefore, the identity going in is there not a cause? Whether it's Grenada, Haiti, wherever, is there not a, whoever comes along is coming under the umbrella of is there not a cause? And this is what is there not a cause stands for, as opposed to somebody from somebody going with another organization and falls under the umbrella of that organization. So some organization goes to that. So and again, even if the other organization, what they're doing is humanitarian, then I could fall in with them easily too and work with them without compromising my spiritual position. But if on the other hand, what is taking place is of a spiritual nature, for example, let's say we're going to do a crusade, So here's another organization that's going to do a crusade based on their religion that is contrary to Christianity. Yeah, definitely I will not go, because then I will be under that umbrella, and I cannot go and do my own crusade because that's what they're going to do. You understand what I'm saying? So the line is drawn. The line is drawn when you have to consider compromising your stand, compromising your belief, compromising your faith. That's where the line is drawn. The line is just a separation between, in terms of what you're doing. If what you're doing is humanitarian, then all are welcome to join in. Saved, unsaved, another religion, no religion, atheist, whatever we're doing. We're trying to help humanity. We're trying to help a human condition to change. And anybody who wants to come along is more than welcome. And some people will always have problems with that. You can't do much about that other than do what you're doing, and hopefully God will deal with their hearts and cause them to see the bigger picture later on. I wasn't always able to see that bigger picture. I used to be very narrow-minded in my approach to a lot of things too. But I've had to open up my eyes and look at what scripture actually teaches, and not be religious about the whole thing.
Listen, I have such high respect for you guys. I have no idea, no. Seriously. No, I'm telling you, serious. Yeah. Somebody just taken some comments from the viewers at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, yes, we have people who will donate food, building material. Every now and then you all go on a clothes drive, gather clothes, because, people need, we know that. But there are a lot of things that I.T.N.A.C has to do that requires hard cash. Paisa, dinero. Whatever word you want to use.
Yes, money.
No, we need money. I mean, when you have to send a crew of 15 people, I just call it a number, I don't know how large they go. But if you had to send up a team of 10, 15 people to Haiti, plane ticket had a cost. Where they staying, people had to eat, all that kind of stuff. So obviously some money had to come in. Even if maybe you're helping somebody build a house, you mightn't get everything from a hardware or whoever sponsors, so you might still have to buy some galvanized. Yes, Pastor Marlon, you have to leave. I know you have something at 6 o'clock. So thank you very much for joining in. So how does I.T.N.A.C get funding, one, and how can people contribute towards I.T.N.A.C cash-wise?
Well, every time Abby... Go ahead, Avana. Mm-hmm.
You go ahead, then I'll fill in the blank.
Okay, no. I made mention of this recently. Every time Avanel describes I.T.N.A.C, she always says that we are a grassroots organization, which means that we operate from the ground up. So as you mentioned in your opening piece, that it's hard to differentiate leadership from workers, because everybody's a worker, right? Everybody's a worker. Our core support comes from people who feel connected to what we do. And those people fall within, and when I say the word average, I mean average meaning the average person who works in a bank, the average person who works in media, the average person who works at home, the average person. I'm using that word average to cover a broad spectrum of society. Do we wish that we have consistent big donors or companies that will support us every month? Of course, because in our mind, we will be able to do more if we get more. But we get our funding. Avi is very creative in terms of she has a lot of ideas. So almost every weekend, there's always some type of fundraiser. Right? To raise funds. Why? Because the need is great. Now, I'm just being honest and truthful. The need is great. What do we need funds to do? Right now, we are in the midst of COVID-19, this pandemic. We have grocery hampers that we are distributing. Note, we are distributing to those that are in need. Many people who are distributing these items, they are using their own vehicles, they are volunteering their own vehicles, their time, they are paying their own gas, etc. In some cases, the amount that we can carry is limited to the capacity of the vehicle. So many things that we would like to have as an organization, we would like to have a panel van. It could be branded. But when we have to go on these type of missions, the capacity will increase. So if we have 20 or 25 or even 100 hampers to distribute, we can pack this particular vehicle and head out. So we're speaking about capacity. Somebody may not necessarily have the money to buy a van, but they may have access to one that they may want to donate. So we normally just throw our ideas and our needs out there, and we believe, because we are faith-based, we believe God is going to supply our needs. So we just continue to let the needs be known. And yes, it takes money, but we are never bound by the price tag of a project. As Avi always says, where there's a need, God will provide, and He has been providing thus far. Avi?
Well, you did an amazing job, babe. And I think
I'm blushing. I'm blushing. Sorry, sorry.
you get a better command of language than I do. So I was thinking today in terms of what Chris was saying, and I didn't realize that I articulated it so clearly. Since this whole COVID response started, we were in Bahamas, and while we were looking to come back, we were thinking ahead and seeing the situation that we find ourselves in. And we began to put things in a mode, or as the people say, we began to get in a gear to reach out to people. So we thank God that while more and more people are hearing about us, and people are unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, selling out broadcasts, advertising our services, then it means that we have an avalanche of people. So we have not turned one person away, one single person away. And we have been going out throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, literally from Mayaro. I think we still have a request where we're going past Choco down to Digo, down to Carnage, South Point Fortune. So we are on the road, meeting the need, being Maracas, Blanchishes, Monaco, all out there, and really being relevant related to the matter of hand. It is a big task, so we do a lot of fundraising, and I've been looking at this as a particular sharer for the last couple of weeks. So what is interesting is that in just scrolling through YouTube, and Chris can attest, she preached one message 4 times at different conferences, and the same message: Jesus Christ gave me them. And she went into the backstory that they multitudes that they, to go away and they to rest. And the multitude from them and they start from us. And even in the things that we seek to run away, God will still send the multitude. He will make John and the miracle that we need in the multitude. And so we have had a multitude of people reaching out to us in the last couple of weeks. And we only started up as of the 29th. Maybe we might get, I don't know, the team members have faith. But as of the 29th of April, 29th of April, 2020, we have long cost probably 700 hampers because we did Operation 200 last weekend, Operation 150 the weekend. We don't even count it. We're giving out about 50 hampers. So we've cost 100 hampers. Way long back. We could count to see when we reach it. What was there. With not $1 from the state coffers. How have we done it? Because of the grace of God, the provision of God, His providence. He saw it, He made us get in a gear, begin to prepare space and activate the team mentally, psychologically. And just the heart of people, as I said, ordinary people. So one of the ways that we raise a lot of funds is through events. COVID, physical distancing, no more than 5 people gathered.
No events.
Have any event, but we need to do more, and it is just amazing. And what I said, so in the mosque, in the masjid, in the temples, and of course in the churches, our brethren, businessmen, individuals, I like baking a bread, farmers, fisherman down in grass, we're giving fish. Broke my heart today. Somebody said that they forgot about a man who had found a fish and he didn't know what to do. He said, listen, we taking everything that legal and legit. There is a need for it. So just been asking people, donate, do online, go to the bank, bring groceries, buy vouchers, bring meals, go to pharmacies, make your payment at the pharmacy, physical pharmacy, so we can go and get life saving medicines for people
Medication.
in this life-saving medication.
Wow. All right, we're coming up to the close of the hour, but I want to get in this before we close off. I know you have this coming up. Um, what? This weekend, right?
What I'm here.
This
Okay,
weekend?
so that was last. Okay, so that
That was
was
last
last
weekend.
weekend. But
Oh,
we're
okay.
gonna
Well,
repeat it again this
okay.
weekend.
But we're
All
gonna
We
right.
repeat it
already
this
did it
weekend.
last
All
weekend.
right, because I was watching
Yeah,
our
so we're
scene,
gonna do.
the promotion. Right. Okay. So I just right. That's why I paused a little bit
So
because
what
I
happened
thought
is this.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us what is.
No,
Tell
no,
us
no.
about this. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk to me.
Okay,
What's this about?
so on the weekend we set a goal or a target, and we really push from between Friday to Sunday to reach that target. So that is only for that particular weekend. A lot of people thought that was our overall goal. No,
Overall
we
goal, no.
passed 200 back long time. Chris, you can talk. Get them some
So
juice.
we give
We
ourselves
try
a
to
goal,
reach it 1,000.
all right, and we give ourselves that goal. Operation, we brand it Operation 200. So every team member is focused on this goal, and then we pull our resources. What are our resources? Our mental capacity, how we think. We get into that mental gear, we get into that spiritual gear, because we know on the weekend we are going to distribute. And again, as I mentioned, our volunteers, Auntie Claudia, she's there in the green with Avanel. She uses her own vehicle and she distributes hampers, and we try to reach as many people as possible. Last weekend for Operation 200, we actually were able to distribute 180 over the weekend, with the final 20 being distributed on Monday. So again, we want to thank all our partners, because what normally happens after such a big push over the weekend is that by Monday, everything looks empty. But so far, every time we head towards the weekend, God has made provision. Every single time the pantry has been empty, it's refilled. So that is another way we can partner. We always invite people. If you see a broadcast from Is It Not a Cause, your network may not necessarily be my network. Spread the
True.
word. We
Yeah.
speak a lot, but we don't know everyone. So spread the word. We have Operation 200 coming up this weekend. You can make a financial contribution to this initiative. Make a direct deposit to our bank account at Republic Bank and First Citizens Bank. You can donate. Maybe you're a good cook or baker. You want to make bread, because we have been adding things like bread and different things to the hampers. We even add toys for families that have children. And just to see, and I know Sister Corey could actually speak about the joy that the children feel because they're home and they get a toy that they can play with, in the midst of this pandemic. So these are just some of the ways that you can partner with us as we make yet another push this weekend, Operation 200.
Yeah, boy. Good. Serious.
There's a
Hey,
lot, huh?
I
There's a
tell
lot.
you, I
There's a
tell you
lot.
how to have high respect for you guys. Serious. So I will do what
We
I
appreciate
can.
you giving visibility. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I will do what
appreciate
I
you giving
can. I'll
visibility.
do what I can.
Yeah.
So we just about ready to wrap up. So let me give you guys some
Okay.
last words. Anything you want to say that we haven't said before? We've said a lot because the
Yes.
scope of I.T.N.A.C is there are a lot of things I wanted to touch on, but oh gosh, there's only so much we could do in 1 hour. But
Yes.
what would you like to close off on?
What
What
else?
would you like the people to know? How can they be a part of this project? Yeah. Generally,
Okay.
what would be your final words that you want to share with the
Yes.
audience? Yeah.
What I want to say is that our organization is very transparent. So that if you have any doubts, you can come in down to our base at 6A Anderson Street and your doubts will be cleared up. There's nothing that we do is hidden. So I want to encourage people, don't, let your thinking stop you from doing what your spirit might be telling you to do. You need to get more information. You need to seek more transparency. Come on down. It's open 60 Anderson Street, St. James, or you can call 394-2042 and get information. And come on down and see exactly how things are done, how the operation goes, and how we do it. You can even join us. We ask people to come on board, come and join us, and move along with us and see how we function, how it works, so that people can know that it's very transparent and it's very clean, that nobody is not buying into anything that is bogus or any stuff like that. So that's one of the things I want to encourage people to be a part of an organization that is very fair and transparent.
Thank you very much. Well, Chris, I know you said a lot just now, so I don't know if you still have anything else you want to say after. But let me give Avi.
Well, I'll just.
All right, go ahead. You go ahead.
So let me talk on that question. Just have a nice debate with you, Ed. I say, just in case I put my foot in my mouth, he normally takes out my foot, cleans it up, so, and bring clarity.
Sanitize it and everything.
He's my gun hole. Yeah, so he's my gun hole. So I let him have it doesn't have a submissive wife, but I have a smart wife. I will call it submissive wife. So again, we just want to thank every person who has expressed that confidence and valued what we do. It is a sacred trust, whether you're a pastor, you're a church member, you're a business person, you're a cook, and you're still listening. Also, all the groups that I could have chosen, I chose I.T.N.A.C. We're not special, but you chose us. It's an honor, it's a sacred trust, and by the grace of God, we seek to carry that out. We live by a number of different scriptures. One of them, Micah 6:8. Oh man, what has God shown you? To love justice, to do mercy, and to walk humbly before God. So we are waiting to hear from you. Maybe one day we might get the big government funding, but right now, as of the 29th of April 2020, we need you to partner to make that difference. Because I tell you, when we still have our citizens that's starving, it is not an exaggeration. People haven't eaten for days. People without their basic medication, teetering on the edge of getting strokes and comas and different things because they don't have medicine.
Thank you very much. Chris, with your closing words, I just wanted to address something. Yes. Somebody is asking on the chat, do you have monthly partners? I guess they're asking about if you have people who contribute on a month-to-month basis in one way or the other. If so, if they want to become that, how can they get in touch with you? So give us like some contact numbers, okay. Some social media handles, whatever. How can people get in touch with you? And give us your closing marks.
Okay, so we would always encourage people for consistent partnership because there are always consistent needs. We have people, their situation, it takes a while for them to get out of the situation. Scholar is an example of someone whose situation has changed, but there are some people that are still on that journey. So we welcome monthly partners. You can call 394-2042, 394-2042. We are on Facebook. Is there not a cause? I.T.N.A.C is the acronym I.T.N.A.C. I.T.N.A.C, if you want to send us an email, itnac.missions@gmail.com. Those are our handles. You can check us out on Instagram as well to get more information on how you can become a partner. I just want to say in closing that everyone has value. What Eric is doing here has a lot of value. It is adding a lot of value because it's giving visibility to what we do. So you may be saying, I don't have no money to give, but you may have the thing that money can buy. Why not give that? You may have access to the things that money can buy. You can sow that, or you can partner with us. You can donate those items and help us make a difference. We are now building our administrative, because everybody is an administrator. There's no secret group. Everyone is an administrator. So we need things like computers, laptops. Again, people use their own personal devices for these things. I spoke about vehicles, not for any fancy driving, but as Avner mentioned, the terrain that we go to. Sometimes you need something that is fit for the terrain that you're going to meet. So you may have access to a 4x4, somebody who has a 4x4, whatever it is that can assist in us doing what we do. We would welcome you partnering with us. 394-2042.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. I.T.N.A.C live in the house. Amazing group of people, amazing individuals doing amazing work. Is there not a cause? Question mark. Yes, there is a cause.
Yes,
there is a big cause. And here, let me make it simple. Tomorrow, you could be the person that need the help.
You know something?
Which we have seen,
That's a serious thing.
Which we have seen.
Yes.
Yeah. Avi, go ahead.
Go ahead, Avi.
I'm gonna say so many times we've seen people who have gone from being big donors to actually needing a bag of food. And we want to thank God that one such donor who went for big donor to needing a bag of food, thank God he got a breakthrough. And then he's being a donor in a large way once again. So your circumstances, tide could turn so sudden. The seed that you sow today for what somebody will be a harvest tree tomorrow.
And with that, we close it off. So I.T.N.A.C, Avi, Claudia, Pastor Marlon who left, Brandon who unfortunately had some internet troubles, Chris, good friends, good people, some fantastic individuals, fantastic organization. Ladies and gentlemen, you on the live stream, you're looking at me, find somehow to partner with I.T.N.A.C. If not I.T.N.A.C, find some other group somewhere that doing something similar, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. We all live on this earth. We all need help in one way or the other. As you just said, today mightn't be you, but tomorrow you don't know what your circumstances would be, and you might be the person needing that help. So this is where we wrap it up. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, I.T.N.A.C, and see you next time on Red.
Blessings.
And support Red, support Sunlight Studios, and support Red and Eric Alvarez. That's a good thing to support.